Hey now, you're watching HotHouse Global. Enjoy the show.
I love to sing. It's just something.
Welcome. My name is Ankur, and I'm one of the co-founders of a small independent record label called Amarrass Records out of New Delhi, India, and right here in Madison, Wisconsin. And I'm here to tell you the story of the great Lakha Khan, Sindhi Sarangi legend Lakha Khan from Raneri, Rajasthan, 74-year-old master of this instrument called the sarangi, sa-rangi, 100 colors, an instrument as evocative as the human voice, and in this master's hands, it weaves magic. So today I'm going to tell you the story just briefly, and then take you to desert, to the home of this master, deep in the desert of Rajasthan, India, and share some of this magical music with you. We're in strange times these days, and part of the process, what we do at Amarrass, is to try and make music sustainable and create sustainable avenues for folk musicians such as Lakha Khan to connect with the rest of the world and to share his beautiful, beautiful, valuable music and bring it to folks like you, patrons like you. And venues like HotHouse or organizations like HotHouse in Chicago, who bring this music to people where it's not possible to you know we've well, I'm deviating, but back to 2013, 2014, one of the first concerts in the US with Lakha Khan. And we're performing in Chicago at a HotHouse event, and we've got the great Hamid Rake joining on percussion. And what a beautiful, magical evening that was. And it's those magical evenings, those magical musical moments that HotHouse creates, and folks like, you know, here at Amarrass that we try and create and bring to you. So once again, support this music, and we hope you can donate and links on the streams. So without much further ado, let's take you to the desert, to Rajasthan, to the very first time we met Lakha Khan back in December 2010. And this is a bhajan called Tulsi Kya Karun. And yeah, veteran, take it away.
तुलसी बन को घास मर्जी हुई भगवान की भगवान के जब बन गए तुलसीदास गोद लियो रघुनाथ गीत ने गोद लीना श्री रघुनाथ अपनी जटा से रजी झड़कावे आए रजी झड़कावे अपनी जटा से रजी झड़कावे मुख पर फेरे हाथ दीने गोद लिनो रघुनाथ लक्ष्मण बोलत वचना धन पछी तोरो भार प्रीति के कारण प्राण तजो मैं प्रीति के कारण प्राण तजो में मात सिया के काज गीधने गीधने गोदली नो रघुनाथ तुलसीदास आया साधु गिरी की तुलसीदास आसारू गिरी की दशरथ जैसे खातरी दीने गोदेवी नो रघुनाथ रघुवंशी रघुनाथ रघुवंशी रघुनाथ श्री रामचंद्र जी महाराज का है। तुलसी तुलसी क्या करो तुलसी बन के घास मर्जी हुई भगवान की जब बन गए तुलसीदास।
Welcome back. So that was Lakha Khan, and the first time we met him in the desert, playing a bhajan, Tulsi Kya Karu. Beautiful music late one night in the desert. And there have been several moments when we met him like that, as is going to be this next track called Kedan de Dinchar, from the Sufi side of things. Because after all, Lakha Khan is a master of not just the Hindu bhajan tradition, but also the Sufi tradition and the folk tradition. He's the keeper of the songbook of India's popular music, as he's been quoted and by Peter Margosek in Chicago Reader, for example. So he's a man who we've released 2 albums of his at home, Lakha Khan, and then Lakha Khan Live in Nashville. Both of them have received rave reviews, and something that people should go check out on Bandcamp and listen to. And once again, I must remind folks that we are coming to you live from the desert soon. But next, let's go to the next time I met Lakha Khanji in the desert, a Sufi song called Kedan de Dinchar. You have only 4 days to play, by the great Baba Bulle Shah. And you can hear the sound of crickets here. And Vedran, please take it away.
जीत जीत ते उम्र गुजारी सुन भी हाल फकीरी दा जीते दा मुल 4 कवडियां हारे दा मुल हीरा हीरा विकी लाख करोड़ा कवडी मोल कसीरा आखे बुलिया जिन हार न मनिए बेमुर्शदा बेपीरा खेडण दे चार खेडण दे चार वे वतन सादे ਵੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਵਣਾ ਖੇਡਣ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਕੰਢੜਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਈ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਕੰਢੜਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ ਵਲਨਾ ਕਿ ਤੋੜੇ ਵਪਾਰ ਵਤਨ ਤੇ ਸਾਧੇ ਭਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਵਣਾ ਖੇਡਣ ਦੇ ਚਾਰ ਵੇ ਖੇਡਣ ਦੇ ਚਾਰ ਖੇਡਣ ਲਈ ਸਾਵਾਂ ਪੜ ਗਈ ਖੇਡਣ ਦੇ ਸਾਵਾਂ ਪੜ ਗਈ ਵੱਲ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਤੋੜੇ ਵਪਾਰ ਵੇ ਵੱਲ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਤੋੜੇ ਵਪਾਰ ਵੇ ਵਤਨ ਤੇ ਸਾਧੇ ਵੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਵਣਾ ਖੇਡਣ ਦੇ ਚਾਰ ਬਾਗ ਸਸੀ ਦਾ ਹਰਦਮ ਸਾਵਾ ਬਾਗ ਸਸੀ ਦਾ ਹਰਦਮ ਸਾਵਾ ਵਲਨਾ ਕਿ ਤੋੜੇ ਵਪਾਰ ਵੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਵਣਾ ਖੇਡਣ ਦੇ ਚਾਰ ਆਖੇ ਬੁਲਿਆ ਰੱਬ ਐਵੇਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਰੱਬ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸੁਣਦੀ ਦਿਲ ਦੀ ਪੁਕਾਰ ਸੁਣਦੀ ਦਿਲ ਦੀ ਪੁਕਾਰ ਵੇ ਵਤਨ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਵਣਾ ਖੇਡਣ ਦੇ ਚਾਰ ਵੇ ਖੇਡਣ ਦੇ ਚਾਰ खेलने के लिए 4 दिन है। बुले शाह आख्या बुले शाह बोलिया कि ये रब एवं नहीं सुन दे, दिल से आप पुकार करो जब सुना जाएगा।
Welcome back. That was the great Lakha Khan, and with crickets, one night in the desert, no power, and sound of crickets in the background, and the beautiful sound of the sarangi, and his beautiful Sufi kalams. And yeah, we're working under extreme circumstances right now. We're producing shows that have never been done from home, never done from these circumstances. I'm sitting here in a room in Madison, half a world away, and I'm about to take you now live to the desert right now, Rajasthan, 10.5 hours away. We are actually going to transit and travel time zones. It's around 9:22 p.m. here, Central Time, but it's about almost 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow in India, in Rajasthan, to Lakha Khanji's home. So let's head there right now and bear with us as we figure out this brave new world of technology and how do we make this folk music, this traditional music, which is so important and so valuable to us, and how do we bring it to the 21st century? How do we create equitable solutions that make technology accessible and vice versa, make that music accessible through that technology in a way that moves us. And that's what we're here for at Amarrass. So please, once again, support the initiatives that we take at Amarrass, at HotHouse, and click on that donate link out there. And we're going to take you to the desert in just about a few seconds. So thank you once again, Veteran, and the team there. We have a whole bunch of sponsors and, well, I shouldn't say sponsors, volunteers who are spending a lot of time and taking a lot of effort to bring you quality music in a quality fashion. So thank you once again. And let's go live to desert to the great Lakha Khan.
छोड़ दे बोल हाँ बस इधर दोनों ठीक है छोड़ देगा
कोई गजबला तू है सैंस को गजबला तू फटू न दश गज चीर वाकी अरियन क्या करे जाके मलवीर अपने पुन परताव से ए मैल करी कुछ भी लंगल भगत कूदी हाथ से ए लीची रखी छोड़ दे गल बाब श्याम और भजे श्याम बोर भजे झाड़ू देते अंगना रूप की तराज से रूप की तराज से तोल देती जो बना छोड़ दे गल पाव श्याम और बजे अभूर भई अंगना भूर भई अंगना छोड़ दे गल अब शाम भोर बजे गोकुला से गुजरी आई जाई दूध दही बेचना गोकुला से गुजरी आई दूध दही बेचना मथुरा में कान वसी मथुरा में कान वसी भिड़ दुई भजना भिड़ दुई भजना छोड़ दे गलबा श्याम मोर बजे और भई अंगना भौर भई अंगना छोड़ दे गल आओ शाम भौर भई राधा जी को दिल गुजुए रुए केसरी सुई कंकड़ा राधा जी को दिल गुजुए केसरी सुई कंकड़ा सूर जामी मदन मोहन आए सूर जामी आए सूर जामी मदन मोहन रूप देख ठगना छोड़ दे गल पाव श्याम और भजे और भई अंगना भूर भई अंगना छोड़ दे गल पाव श्याम मोर बजे
राग मारू में इंस्ट्रूमेंटल राणे ने समझ आओ तुम्हारी पत लाखनी मीरा भजन है। मीराबाई ने कहा है कि राणे जी को समझावत मोरी पत लाखनी का तो अर्ज किया है मीरा भजन। प्लीज हमें खेद है और बड़ी चिंता है कि बदलते हुए मौसम की वजह से थोड़ा ट्यूनिंग का प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, तो माफ कीजिएगा। तो अब आपके सामने पेश करते हैं राग माड, राजस्थानी फोक राग है माड। तो उसमें मेलारी खिड़की खोलोनी आडा पहरेदार, गीत का नाम बोल है मेलारी खिड़की खोलोनी आडा पहरेदार। ये राग माड में अभी आपके सामने गाया जाएगा, सो प्लीज सुनिए। नमस्कार।
मेलारी खिड़की खोलो अन्नदाता आदाए पेरीदार महाराज आदाए पेरीदार मेलारी महाराजा
राग भैरवी सिंधी भैरवी में है इंस्ट्रूमेंट सारंगी एंड ढोल। राग भैरवी में दिल विच कलमा याद रहे। तो ये इसमें बजाया जाएगा दिल विच कलमा याद होवे और न ही कोई पढ़ना। ये सिंधी भैरवी में आपके सामने अभी नगमा बजाया जाएगा लहरा। तो सुनते रहिए और आनंद लीजिए, आगे भी शेयर कीजिए। नमस्कार। हार्ड इंस्ट्रूमेंट है, इसलिए आपको हमें बड़ा खेद है कि आपको तकलीफ ना हो। तो बदलते मौसम की वजह से सुबह ठंडा मौसम होता है, अभी थोड़ा धूप की वजह से थोड़ा ट्यूनिंग में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, सो माफ़ कीजिएगा। थोड़ा आपको तकलीफ होगी, बस सुर बिना आनंद नहीं आता और सुर के बिना उस्ताद जी भी नहीं बजाते, तो हमें भी आपको तकलीफ हो रही है, उससे हमें बड़ा खेद है। अब सिंधी भैरवी में आपके सामने गाएंगे अंत बाहर दी खबर ना काई रंग ही रंग बनाया। ये सिंधी भैरवी में गाया जाएगा। तो प्लीज सुनिए। अंत बाहर दी खबर ना काई रंग
आल फतेनाल रची दिल मेरी बेदी गरज खाए बे पढ़िया मन स्वाद में आया एक लजत अलफ दी आई अत भर दी खबर न काई रंगी रंग बनाया अत भर दी खबर न काई रंगी रंग बनाया रंगी रंग बनाया ये माला आदमी बन आया हो रंगी रंग बनाया है मौला आदमी बन आया है अंत बाहर दी खबर न काई रंगी रंग बनाया काबिल काबिल पुत्री आदम दे आदम कहता गाया काबिल काबिल पुत्री आदम दे आदम कहता जाया अजी आदम कम होगी हुआजी अजी आदम कम आगे हुआजी आदम ज्यादा जाया आदम ज्यादा जाया अंत बाहर दी खबर न काहिर रंगी रंग बनाया अनबाजी गरी बाजी पत्थरी पुतला ने जोड़ बनाया अनबाजी गर बाजी पत्थरी पुतला जोड़ बनाया गली गली विच ढोल वजंदा नाचू इश्क नचाया नाचू इश्क नचाया बेजार अंत बाहर दी खबर न काई रंगी रंग बनाया काही रंगी रंग बनाया आए रंगी रंग बनाया अंत बहुत ही जबरदस्त काही रंगी रंग बनाया
राग तेलंग इंस्ट्रूमेंट रंग में बजाएंगे तेरा नाम रसूले अरबी हर रंग दे विच बसता तू। ये राग तेलंग इंस्ट्रूमेंट बजेगा इसमें। तेरा नाम रसूले अरबी तेलंग कैमरे में बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आज ईद का भी दिन है, सबको ईद मुबारक। और उस्ताद लाखा खान साहब, आप प्लीज।
आपको सबको मेरा प्रणाम हो, मुबारक हो, नमस्ते हो, गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड आफ्टरनून,
गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग।
सबको सलाम और आदाब हो। हम
And we are back here in Madison after Rajasthan. We just heard the great Lakha Khan, Ustad Lakha Khan, on the Sindhi Sarangi, the 26-string Sindhi Sarangi, and he was accompanied by his son Dane Khan on the double-headed Indian folk drum, the dholak. So I mentioned a little bit about the Sarangi, Sa 100, Rangi colors, instrument with hundreds of colors and supposed to be the closest to the human voice, and has been a traditional instrument in Indian classical music, Indian folk music, Indian popular music, Bollywood, and has accompanied music all through the generations, yet is in danger of being lost. It's a notoriously difficult instrument to play. After all, 26 strings, a fretless board, it's a bowed instrument, a bow, and it's a motor memory, it's a learned memory. And this is an oral tradition, Lakha Khan. We heard a whole series of songs, and if you go to the Amarrass Facebook page and check out the video and the comments, you'll see the list of the songs that he's been singing, and he's presented songs from both the Sufi tradition as well as the traditional folk tradition, and also the Hindu bhajan tradition. So he's one of the few players who straddles not just the classical and folk side of music, but also his songbook encompasses music for all religions and people of all beliefs. And that's something very important and something that must be celebrated even more today, uh, given the world we live in. And that's one of the other reasons why uh, we consider it an important task at our end at Amarras to bring this music out there to the world. It's a world which needs peace, healing, meditation, and words of wisdom, and all of which is there in the music of Lakha Khan. And yeah, open for questions, and would love to, if any of you folks have anything to talk about or share, or would like to know more about the instrument, how the music is made, how we've gone about doing these recordings. So one of the other things I'd like to mention, um, this is a recording we brought to you from Raneri, Rajasthan, which is in the middle of literally nowhere, uh, about 40 kilometers from the nearest town, which has a Wi-Fi signal. So this was all music programming delivered to you over a cell phone, over a phone connection. And we did our best to bring you the best sound and the best video we could. Uh, and we hope you loved that experience. But that's one of the ethos and uh, one of the fundamentals at the label and personally is how can we deliver a great sound, a beautiful sound. And uh, yeah, here was an example of that beautiful bird sound, the sound of the sarangi 26 strings I mentioned. So there are three main gut strings, and the rest of them, there are two layers of sympathetic strings made of brass and steel, and those create the resonance, the microtones, the overtones, and that's what makes this instrument such a fabulous instrument and yet so difficult to learn. And hopefully soon we are able to come back to you with another concert and also share with you how this instrument and this sound is going forward and the next generation taking it on. A case here, a story here, Dane, who's the son of Lakha Khan, playing the dholak. When we first met him 10 years ago, he was not playing any music. He was driving a taxi because that's where the money was. And over the years, we've been able to get him into the fold and he's got interested and started learning the sarangi, and that's one of those presentations we're very excited to bring to you sometime soon. How generation number 8, Lakha Khan is the 7th generation player of that instrument, and now we have generation number 8 getting ready. So thank you once again for tuning in here with Amarrass Records with HotHouse, and yeah, so I'm fielding some questions here now, Ankur, and one of these questions that I'm just getting in on the chat here is, are there other instruments that accompany the sarangi other than the dholak, the drum? And yes, sometimes it could be the harmonium, which is the reed organ, which actually came to India, brought in by the French and Portuguese settlers in the 18th, 19th century. But there's all sorts of other instruments. And again, when we present this next, we're going to present some more folk instruments from Rajasthan, instruments such as the kartal, which is castanets, equivalent to castanets, but for single pieces of wood. There's instruments such as the bhapang, which is the single-stringed plucked drum. Uh, and there might be instruments such as the kamaicha, which is another uh, very ancient and very unique folk bowed instrument from Rajasthan. So all these instruments often accompany the sarangi individually or in a medley, because Rajasthani music, as you know, as you saw here, could be performed by a solo master musician such as Lakha Khan, but it could also take on a large ensemble where there could be tens of musicians on stage. I'm checking another question, and this is from Steve Robinson, and he asked that it's interesting he holds the bow the way double bass players do in German orchestras, or maybe bass players in German orchestras hold the way Indian master string players do. And I love that. Thank you, Steve, for that comment. And it's interesting, having spent some time with this master. I've been working with him for over 10 years now, and one of the first things and one of the hardest things is to learn the bow, or how to learn to hold the bow. And often novices at the sarangi spend a few months just to master holding that bow, to get it right. You know, the heft and the angle of attack, angle of release, and things like that, which are truly. Yeah, I don't know how this connected to the Germans, but one thing again, another beautiful story from the field. So we've been touring around the world, and I've toured with Lakha Khan 3 times in the US, brought him on tour here, probably twice in Europe as well. And on all these tours, as we're driving through the countryside or in the train, and he'd be looking out the window and he'd see a marvelous horse, a majestic horse in Kentucky, in the fields or something, and then he'd want that horsetail hair, because the horsetail hair, especially the male horsetail hair, is what's used to make the bow, and the size of the horses in India has been diminishing, and the size of the bows has been becoming smaller. So that's something to kind of wonder about and think about, how change in genetics or structure of animals or things that you depend on change how your instruments operate and may operate. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm being reminded to ask people to donate. And yes, this music does not come uh, easy or free. A lot of people have spent a lot of time to bring this music to you, and will continue to do that. And but for that, we'd love to have your contributions, and if you could support and generously at HotHouse or at Amarrass. The links are up online, and yeah, we'd really appreciate your contributions so we can continue bringing to you this fabulous programming. And the music is available on Bandcamp, Amarrass Records, Amarrass Records, and you can get the music on Bandcamp. You can get it on our website. A lot of the music is available on streaming sites as well, though we'd rather have you go and click that Bandcamp link and just get high quality, lossless, fabulous recordings. A lot of those recordings have been done by me personally in the field, and they capture the nuance of the desert, of that experience, that special experience when you can hear the insects and the animals and the birds around you, and the man at one with his instrument. And that's what we try and bring to you at Amarrass. So thank you once again for tuning in. And Luis, again, one more question coming in. In what ways does the length of the bow affect the sound? And ultimately, it's about how long can you maintain a sustaining note. So if I'm holding the bow, and how long can I pull that bow? Depends on how long that bow is. Yes, of course I can pull it slow, but you get some more extension and sound and some more things. And we're not talking about, inches and inches. We're talking about half an inch or an inch, a few centimeters here and there. And those are the differences, but marginally, if I see a bow from 20 years ago, that's about maybe 22 inches long, and the bows nowadays are 20 inches long or 21 inches long. And I'm not the master. I'm just trying to bring this music out there, and it's a question for all the makers of music, bowed music. Uh, how does that make a difference? Well, I'm actually a mechanical engineer, so I'm not even a recording engineer veteran. And this is a question coming in, how do I go from an engineer to becoming a record producer? And for me, I come to this business pure, my fundamental passion was music and bringing music from my culture, from my country, from India to the rest of the world, sharing it with the rest of the world. And what I considered powerful, strong, original, beautiful music. I'm a big fan of the American blues and the British blues, Son House, Mrs. B. John Hurt, Robert Johnson, uh, John Lee Hooker, the list goes on. And then when I started thinking about who are the Indian bluesmen or the equivalent, the Indian folk stars, there weren't that many names. And it wasn't that these people didn't exist, these masters didn't exist. It was about finding them, finding that music. And that started the quest. Me and my label partner Ashutosh Sharma, we headed out into the desert with our first recordings with just two simple microphones and a cassette recorder. And for me, again, it was kind of taking that ethos of sound, the balance, what makes beautiful sound, and trying to capture that and encapsulate that. And, of course, my engineering background came into play and everything. But then it was also very important. It's not an archival exercise. This is not an exercise in just recording some music. It's about sharing it with the rest of the world. And how do we share it in a way that's equitable and makes it sustainable for the artist? So it was equally important to get it out onto the channels and platforms as we're doing this live stream today, to get this music out there into the world. And that's when, you know, we had already set up the record label, and so went hand in hand. And it was also important to get the music onto stages and platforms. Thank you very much, Vedran. Thank you, Marguerite. Thank you, Luis. Thank you, everyone else, for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, and I will pass on the thanks and gratitude to Lakha Khan and his son Dane in Raneri, Rajasthan, 10.5 hours away. It's actually tomorrow, there today. So, welcome to this brand new time travel experience with Amarrass and HotHouse, and hope you loved it. And we hope you can follow that experience at amarrass.com on Facebook and all those channels. Thank you.
Bye.